TNVR Broncos live, presented by DraftKings Sportsbook, coming to you from Studio C, where today the C stands for check, as in let's check in on the other teams in the AFC West and look at their schedules. We're going to talk a little bit about what it's going to take to win the West today, and I think this is going to be a fascinating conversation, but Zach had a good point, which was just like, okay, well, it's easy to just be like, they're going to win 10, and they're going to win 10, and they'll win 11, and so you need 12. But why don't we actually open up the schedules from these teams and dive in? So we're going to do that in just a second. But first, hey, guys.
What's going on? I love the shirt, Ryan. What a fitting shirt to be wearing. Man, I hope Tiger is playing on Sunday.
Yeah, for a second it didn't look like he was even going to be playing on Saturday, but got it back a little bit. What's he at now, Hank?
I think 4. So I woke up super early this morning and decided just to watch it a little bit for an hour, and then I went back to bed and then woke up again at 8 when Tiger teed off. And then when things went bad, I took a little nap. And so I may have missed a couple of holes in the last few minutes and then had to get ready for this.
All right, fair enough. All I know is my boy Ronan Malarney made it on the broadcast. Hank didn't think he could do it, but he did it on the first day. Actually, only 5 holes into his tournament, he made it on the broadcast for pouring in an eagle. And wow, what a moment for him.
I mean, not just making it on the broadcast, but Ryan, the couple of bucks you sprinkled on after an eagle's got to feel good, right?
Yeah, I mean, he's got work to do, but if he finishes today at under par, I'll be very happy.
Is he under right now?
Yeah, he's 1 under last I checked.
Ooh, what's the leader at?
8.
Man, that is so crazy.
It really is. Watch out, baby. Don't let Ronan get hot. He's 2 under.
My guy Joaquin Neiman's 3 under with 2 holes left. So if you want to take back some of those laughs from yesterday, feel free.
I mean, I just feel like it doesn't count because he wasn't 1,000 to 1.
Is he the second most famous Joaquin?
Are there any sports Joaquin?
Literally, is not that I can think of. All I can think of is Joaquin Phoenix, and obviously that's the only Joaquin I know of.
I can't
Joakim Noah? Is that close enough?
No.
I feel like it's the same name, just a different language. I think. Yeah. Okay. So we'll keep an eye on Ronan Malarney, and hopefully he keeps pouring in birdies. Oh, real quick, just wanted to tell a quick story. Hank and I were robbed in a golf tournament yesterday. I'm not going to throw any people under the bus, but I would say our team, which was us 2, Lexi and then Lindsay, who works up at CU, it was the CU media tournament. I would say our team played a perfect game. I don't think it's possible to do better than we did. Yet we got 4th place. And that just brings up a lot of questions for me about, integrity.
I agree.
So who are you saying was pulling strings? Who ended up first?
I'm not going to put those people's names out there. But I'll just say, interesting.
Those tournaments are so strange because it's not a scramble. So the way it works is you just take the best score on every hole. And Lexi, I think there were 5 holes where she got 3 shots. So she had a 4 on a par 3 that counted as a 1. And so there's stuff like that happening where you go in there and say yeah, we scored a 50 in this tournament, and the good golfers are sitting there what? How does that even happen? These people are cheating. And no. We just have handicaps. You guys just don't even have a chance in a tournament like this.
The funny thing is, we were playing so well that I thought people were gonna think we were cheating, but like we were like laughing about it because every hole someone would do something crazy that like saved us. Like Hank made like a 20-footer that counted for a birdie for us. Lexi had like a couple holes with great shots. I had a birdie that counted for an eagle. Like we just every hole it was like someone else, and it was so sick. And then we walked in. I was so excited to see where we finished. I was like first, second at the very worst.
I see. You're not putting the organization out on blast. You're putting the other
No.
participants
Yes.
and ethics out in question.
At the very least, there was serious sandbagging going on with the handicaps. That is the lowest form of cheating, I would say. But that's the only way that teams could have been better than us.
So you guys need to have me on your team next year because my handicap could be sky high. And that's how we get into the 30s.
Yeah.
We need to just go up to 2 CU games and get credentialed so we're invited next year.
I mean, I've been getting invited for years on end now. I feel like I was on the back end of the list this year, so hopefully I don't get pushed out. Okay, anyways, let's go. Where do you want to start? Who are we starting with? Well, okay, let's start with the Broncos. What did we come to when we went through the schedule, Zach?
11, I believe, right? 11
Okay.
and 7.
That sounds about right to me. And the thing is, I just want to I want to know if maybe we can pull that up, if it exists somewhere, because we got to know which games that we had the Broncos winning, so we don't have overlaps giving wins to other teams. You know what I mean?
I think what we had was 3-3 in the division. And so we still may have some overlap, but I believe that's what we had.
Okay, as long as we know that, then essentially it was every team, we split with every team. I think I had them sweeping the Raiders or the Chargers.
I think you did.
Maybe it was the Chargers. I can't remember. But then I would have had to have them. No, I think I had them 4-2.
I think you had them sweeping the Raiders, but somehow, some way, the Chargers found a way to get a win on Ryan.
Yeah, crazy. I mean, poverty franchise like that finding a way to win a football game. It sounds unbelievable, but it's possible. Okay, I guess we'll just plan on splitting it within the division, if that sounds right to you guys. We'll see. Kale said he's going to search around for it. So if we get it, we'll pull it up. But let's start with the team with the highest odds in Vegas to win the division, which is the Las Vegas Raiders.
Oh, highest is in worst odds. Yes, of course. Plus 650. Every other team is like floating right around plus 250. I believe the Broncos have the third worst odds at plus 250. And then you have the Chargers, I think, at plus 200. And you have the Chiefs at plus 175 or something. So the Raiders, massive underdogs in the division.
All right. I don't want to alarm anyone, but my boy Malarney just got to 3 under.
So how is he tied with? He's rolling.
Yes, Ronan's rolling it. He's 4 under in his last 4 holes, and he had a bogey early in the round, but back-to-back birdies here, and now he's in 11th place.
Can you cash out? Because this might be the time, Ryan. This might be the time to smash that cash.
Let me open DraftKings. DraftKings has been pretty stingy with the buyouts lately. They don't really offer buyouts until they're legitimately scared that the thing is going to happen. So yeah, they have not. They are not yet afraid of losing $14,000 to me.
They're not afraid of malarkey.
Dude, yeah, they think Malarney is malarkey. We'll see about that. I told you guys, don't let him get hot. I tried to warn you. All right, let's jump in here. Week 1, this could be a great game. Starting the season at Los Angeles. That's a tough one for them to start with.
It's a really tough one. I'm going L. And guys, the thing that I love about this, having 3 guys on the pod, is we will absolutely be decisive on what happens, since we'll have a tiebreaker. But I'm going a loss here.
I wanted to say, like, oh man, week 1 in that stadium, like, the fans are going to be going crazy. Then I realized we're talking about the Chargers. So there's probably going to be more Raiders fans in that stadium. In fact, I would bet on it there'll be more Raiders fans in that stadium for week 1 against a team who a lot of weirdos think has a chance to win in the Super Bowl. I'm going loss. I'm going Raiders win this one. I feel like the Raiders always start out pretty good.
So you're going win for the Raiders. Hank, be a tiebreaker for us.
Sorry.
I'll say the Chargers get this one. So when I was going through and doing these, my plan was just like, don't even count the divisional games. Just have 3-3 for the Broncos and Chargers, 4-2 for the Chiefs, 2-4 for the Raiders, and then not worry about which is which. But looking at, I'll say I'll vote they lose this one and win the other.
Is that, what do you think the odds would be in DraftKings if you bet every team in the AFC West to finish 3-3 in the division?
That's honestly what I like.
I know.
Because remember, the Chiefs couldn't lose to the AFC West until the Raiders went into Kansas City and beat them. So, any team can beat any of these teams, and we all have the Broncos beating all of these teams this year. But the Broncos are the one that haven't beat the Chiefs longer than any other team, which is crazy.
That is still one where I'll just believe it when I see it. Like, I just mentally cannot go into one of those games thinking, yeah, the Broncos are going to win this one.
Oh, so Hank doesn't have the Broncos getting a dub this year.
Against the Chiefs?
I'd say I'm just taking the split and everything because all of these are going to be so tough. But yeah, I'm just when game week comes, I'm not putting money on the Broncos until they prove it to me.
Would the Raiders be the most likely team to get swept by someone, or would it be the Broncos just because they have that streak against the Chiefs?
Gosh, I would think it still would be the Raiders just because of how close in some of the games the Broncos have been to the Chiefs and just how bad their quarterback play has been and how much of an upgrade they've got.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think there's much gap in terms of most likely to get swept by a team in any of them. I think all of this is those teams are not separated by all that much, all 4 of them, in my opinion.
All right, let's move on here. So we're giving them the loss there. They go week 2. This is kind of sketchy. They're going week 2, Arizona at home.
This is a weird one. This is a weird. I'll go with the Raiders here, but what makes me hesitate is Cardinals early season. They're pretty good typically, but I'm going to say at home the Raiders get the win.
I'll say the Cardinals win. It's tough. If the Raiders had a better secondary, then I'd be more interested in saying they win this game. It just the way the Cardinals play, it scares me a little bit. Like I wonder if the pass rush will be enough just to cause chaos and make it not matter. But I'm going with the Cardinals on this one.
I am also taking the Cardinals. Early season Cards usually very dangerous, and because of that, I think that they get the job done here. If you have to play the Cardinals, in my opinion, you'd always rather play them late in the season. I think the reason why this happens is the Cards and Cliff Kingsbury is very good at coming up with concepts in the offseason that are really difficult to stop. But once the tape is out there, I don't think he is quick enough to come up with a bunch of new stuff that works in the middle of the season. So if you watch, they're like come out at the beginning of the season, they're just running things that you haven't seen from them before, and they work really well. I think that's what happens. I will say I have this as like a big shootout. Like the winning team is scoring 40 points.
Man, I love it. That's going to be such a fun game. What's crazy, though, guys, is this next game, Tennessee, the same reason that Hank picked Arizona is why I'm picking Tennessee. This Raiders defense is going to get pushed around left and right in Tennessee. So if we're going this way, I got to go loss. And that means, in my mind, 0-3.
Oh, geez. Are they going to somehow end up 0-17?
On a Broncos podcast, who would believe it?
I hope this like somehow reaches Raiders Twitter. I love when they get mad. I am going to go win here. This just feels like a kind of game that the Raiders win. I don't really know why or how. I just feel like I feel like they're good at beating these middling teams. And you could make that case for the Cardinals as well. But I don't know. I just have a feeling they're going to get the job done in that one.
I think I'm taking the Titans. It's the same thing as Zach. Like,
God.
I wonder if they're going to be able to just throw the ball everywhere. Like the Raiders can just throw the ball everywhere and put up a big number, but like I just don't see a way for them to get stops. Derrick Henry's right there.
Yeah.
And guys, this next one, Broncos at home. So Broncos in Las Vegas. What would be extra worse about this is I had the Raiders winning this one and then the Broncos winning at home. If the Broncos lose to the 0-3 Raiders against Josh McDaniels, that's just going to make this loss even worse. But I got to stick with my original feeling, and I'm going to go the Raiders win this one.
You have a chance to bury them if this is the case. Like, their season could be over at the end of this game if you win this game. 0-2 in the division.
McDaniels era, up in smoke.
0-4, and then they have to go at Kansas City. They like if that was the real case, you could end them right then and there. I think I actually picked this one as a Broncos win when we did this, and now I'm starting to remember. I picked the Broncos to sweep the Raiders, so I'm not changing. I'm going to pick the Broncos.
Hank, break our tie.
Oh, see, and so here's the thing. It would be really easy to say, I think the Broncos win this game. But when you start remembering that they're 0-3 at this point, the Raiders are 0-3, like that thought gets your head and you're like, can I really do this? I'm going to say Broncos win.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
This is ridiculous. Do we got to start over?
I couldn't change for my prediction, Hank. You had a chance to save this.
I know, but I can't just only because they're 0-3, I can't say no, they'll get this one. That's not how this works. Like the thing
so
is,
do you have the Broncos sweeping?
We'll get there when we get there.
Okay. All right.
Okay, I think this next one's easy, especially if they're 0-4. I'm going Loss 0-5, heading into their bye.
So it's we got to be careful for the reverse McDaniels because, of course, his Broncos career started 6-0, and then they went 2-8 down the stretch. So maybe they'll turn it around in our predictions as well. Yeah, I'm absolutely picking them to lose that 10 times out of 10.
Now we got a bye week, and then guys,
doesn't even matter what Hank says.
Thank God, guys, I was torn.
They have to get a win here. The Houston Texans at home, coming out of a bye. Look at this. We picked the Raiders to win a game. Was this unanimous? Was this a 3-0 Raiders win?
Yeah, they got that one. That's for sure.
Wow, congratulations. Now at New Orleans, I mean, a 1-5 Raiders team. We're clearly not very high on them, but I am not high on New Orleans. I think they're way overrated. So I'm actually going to pick the Raiders here and go on a little run, a 2-0 run.
Yeah, but then you look at the matchup, though. You got Marshawn Lattimore. Yeah, that's Marshawn, not Marcus. No, wait, is that Marcus?
No, that's Marcus.
No, it's
wait, no.
It's Marshawn. It's Marshawn.
When you think about it, all of a sudden, yeah, Marshawn Lattimore, that's perfect against Devontae Adams. Like you're thinking of the strength, so you can see a path. But yeah, I do think the Raiders pulled this one out.
I also have the Raiders winning here. Not that it matters. I have no good feelings about the Saints. Like, I don't necessarily have bad feelings about them, but I'm just like, wow, that is the most milquetoast team in the NFL this year.
It really is. And they had an opportunity to blow it all up and tank for one of the quarterbacks next year, and they didn't. I think they're making a big mistake. Next game.
They're going to wait to tank for Arch Manning.
Smart. Oh, man. Bring him back to New Orleans. That would be really cool. That would be cool. Jacksonville, speaking of tanking for a good quarterback, Trevor Lawrence or Derek Carr? Guys, I'm going Derek Carr.
Your Jacksonville Jaguars? You're going to pick them to lose?
My Jacksonville Jaguars at home. The worst place to play a football game in the National Football League, in my opinion.
I know I've had to be reminded about this many times, but our bet is You win if they make the playoffs. I win if they have a top 10 pick, and anything in between is a push. God,
and
I love those types of bets.
Yeah, I don't really like those odds anymore. But I'm locked in.
If you see T-Law playing for my Madden team, it might make you feel better.
Oh, we got to play our game today.
We do got to play our game today. Maybe right after the bet show.
Yeah, I think that's a good
DNVR
idea.
matchup.
Coming off a 96-0 win.
I had another DNVR matchup against you, Zach, but you weren't there to play it. You should know that Devontae Smith, I think, had 400 receiving yards.
Oh my gosh! What happened to my secondary?
They were tertiary.
Oh my gosh! Wow!
I like that so much.
Okay. So they're up to 3-5.
Wait, so did someone else have Jacksonville?
I have Jacksonville, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Then
they're
up to 3.
I have the Raiders.
Yep.
Right. Yes. So they are up to 3-5 on a 3-game win streak. Ryan, you said the anti-McDaniels is working right now. Colts at home. Personally, guys, I like the home team in this. Just whoever was the home team in this game. So Raiders are at home, so I'm going to take them.
I have a hard time with this one. The Colts are like, I don't even know what to call them. They're like my sneaky sleeper. It's even sleepier than a regular sleeper. But like, I feel about the Colts the way that I feel like maybe some people felt about the Rams last year. Like, I don't think after they got Matt Stafford were people picking the Rams to win the Super Bowl, if I remember correctly. And I'm not going to go quite that far, but I think the Colts are going to be a really difficult team to play against this year, and they're going to win a lot of games. And so I've got the Colts winning this one.
Henry, break our tie.
I've got the Raiders. I think there's things that the Colts do well, obviously. Like they run the ball, they stop the run. But I would just think the Raiders can put up a bunch of passing yards and do enough defensively to win.
So now we had the Broncos get the Raiders on a massive losing streak, and now they get them on a massive winning streak.
They do, and I think this is going to come down. Well, I'm going. Well, what's tough about this is the first time they played, I had the Raiders winning, but then I have the Broncos winning in this one. But you guys had it flipped, so I guess I'll stick with my original. I'm going Broncos win this one in Denver.
I've got Broncos as well. I think the only thing stopping the Broncos from owning the Raiders, like they have for many years, was having a quarterback. Now they have it back, so they own the Raiders again.
Yeah, I have them splitting, so I'll take the Raiders to win, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Next one, I don't think matters either. At Seattle, the Raiders should really win this one.
What's the record right now? I guess we're going to give them a win. I'm going to give them a win at Seattle too, so we can count that one.
We've got them at 5-6 right now, heading into the game against the Rams.
Okay. Henry, you want to
go
first on the Rams?
Oh, Rams. I'll take the Rams in that one.
I'm sorry, I skipped one. The other Los Angeles team, the Chargers.
Oh, they go back-to-back LA games.
Yeah, that is confusing.
So I had them winning the first one. Yeah, I guess I'll give this one to the Chargers.
Whoa. Yeah. Whoa. Oh. Say that again. Clip that, Kale.
I'll give it to the Raiders. Yeah, I have the split between the two teams, so.
And I have it split as well. And you guys picked the loss last time, so I'll take the Raiders in this one. So now we have them at 6-6. So they've made it back from 0-5.
Wow,
that's kind of crazy. So they went 5-1 after that.
Yeah, they did, with their only loss coming against the Broncos.
No, 6-1.
Right, exactly.
Jeez.
And now they play the Rams. It does. We're going up and down with this. And guys, on the road against the Rams, I'm giving this to LA.
It will once again though be a predominantly Raiders crowd.
Yeah, definitely. But yeah, I'm going LA.
Like most people that live in LA are just like Lakers, Raiders, and Dodgers fans.
Yeah.
It's like everyone that lives there is just that, at least in my opinion.
No football.
Well, yeah, they're just Raiders fans. Like the Raiders were so cool in the
Mm.
'80s, and we never even talked about Raiders Saints might be the best possible uniform matchup in the NFL, in my opinion.
Ooh,
You
for
just like black.
classics.
Black and gold, black and silver. Yeah, it's great. Like, if the Saints went with like the all whites, do they wear white at home? I can't remember. I think they do.
Yep.
I think they do. Yep. The all whites are sick.
If they went with all whites and the Raiders went all blacks, that would be dirty.
Yeah, that is pretty dirty.
Okay, I've got them losing to the Raiders, or to the Rams as well.
Okay, now New England at home. This one to me just feels like the same as the Colts. Whoever is the home team I'm taking here, and it happens to be the Raiders. So give me Raiders against Mac Jones.
Yeah, it's gonna be a fun one. Sunday Night Football. I think it's the Raiders. As much as I want to say, like, yeah, Mac Jones is gonna go beat them. I think they're gonna be solid. I just think the Raiders win at home.
All right,
Ryan, your opinion doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's a toss up to me, so I don't even. I mean, if I had to pick, I guess I would pick the Patriots because they're in my parlay of teams to make the. Oh shit! So are the Raiders. Well, I might need to go back and cash out on that parlay after the way that this whole thing shook out.
I don't know, because then they have Pittsburgh the week after. And guys, this is the third straight primetime game for the Raiders, which is kind of nuts. But Pittsburgh is absolute trash. Even though this game's on the road, I'm going the Raiders.
I'm tempted to take Pittsburgh in this one, especially because it's on the road at night in December. Like, it's gonna be cold out there, a lot different than Vegas. Yeah, like it's not like Kenny Pickett is awesome, but at this point he'll have plenty of experience under his belt, and he's got some good weapons. You lean on Najee Harris in this game. You've got a bunch of pieces. I'm gonna do it. I'll take Pittsburgh in this one.
Ryan, break the tie.
Raiders. I know that when this game rolls around, I will be talking myself into Pittsburgh like plus 270. But yeah, I'm taking the Raiders.
Okay, the Raiders are 8-7 heading into the final 2 weeks of the season. Playoffs is probably still in their view, and they have 2 home games to finish out the season. First one against San Francisco.
This is like low-key a rivalry, which is cool. I will take the Niners.
Henry?
I will too. Like, it's a tough one. And I think probably even that the Raiders are a better team. Again, just that sort of defense that time of year, I think will play up. And again, if it's Trey Lance at quarterback, he'll have a lot more experience than he did at the beginning of the year.
Interesting. I would float the other way because of Trey Lance. I'm not confident in him right now, but it doesn't matter. So we've got them 8-8 heading into the final game against the Kansas City Chiefs. Obviously, a lot of variables can play into this about who wins this, who's playing for anything. And who do we have? Do the Raiders split with the Chiefs here, or do they get swept?
So what's the record right now?
8-8.
Oh, so they're already cooked. They're done. They're out of the playoffs.
Yeah.
Because of that, I'll say that the Chiefs win, and essentially the Chiefs are playing for something the Raiders aren't. That's all they really need.
Yeah, I think you're right as well. So I'm going that the Chiefs do sweep the Raiders here, but 8-9 after an 0-5 start. People in LA or in Vegas probably feeling good about the trajectory of the team, but it doesn't matter. Only 8 wins.
I don't think they'd be too excited.
What's
going
the
8-4 down the stretch?
No, I guess that's true. That part is true.
It's something to sell on, which we've lived in that world where you have to sell something throughout the off season to try and keep everyone feeling good about themselves. But I want to see what their win total is in Vegas. See just how far off of it we really were.
It's 8.5.
Is it really?
I think it is.
Bingo.
Oh, that makes me feel much better about the way that just went.
Did you think we were too hard on him? Were you worried
Yeah,
about that?
I did. It is over under 8.5. So we took the under by a half game. Totally fair.
That means we don't love that bet necessarily.
You know what's funny is that this is a great exercise. If I just looked at that today on bets, if it just came up and I hadn't looked at the schedule and gone through it like that, I would have been like, wow, this is an easy over.
Right.
You do still think, though, like any one of those first 5 that we said they lost, they're all winnable. Like,
yes, totally.
I don't think that they're going to lose all of them. It's just that when you look at each one in a vacuum, you're not going to pick them.
They're also probably going to Raider away a couple games, though.
True. Definitely.
That's very true. I like how they're going to Raider away some games. You're going to say the Chargers are going to Chargers some games. And I guess the only team in the AFC West that won't outside of the Broncos is the Chiefs. I mean, I guess recently they don't really Chief games away.
No, that was like home playoff games for 50 years, but they got past that.
Yeah.
I do kind of wish I could just lean into the bit and go just Chargers 0-17, but that's not fun for anyone. It'd be fun for me, but no one else. Okay, let's hit a quick break. Breck Brew Friday. Oh, wait, sorry, it's not Friday yet. Breck Brew Friday is coming soon.
Friday for you.
It is. That was an unfortunate accidental flex on you guys.
It was.
But we do have our mini golf tourney going down tonight. I guess it's not necessarily a tourney, although I was hoping to bet like a slightly unreasonable amount of money to bet on mini golf against someone. I don't know if you're in on that.
I'm down.
Like a $40 mini golf bet. Like that's,
yes.
You know, like that's like enough for someone to be like, why would you do that? And that's exactly why I want to do that.
I'm all in. Have to have a couple beers first, though.
Cool. Maybe we could actually like low key pot together a bunch of money.
I bet we could. I don't think we can market that though.
So we're going. I don't know. We're going to Rhino Country Club tonight, and they have a sign that says, "There's no betting allowed here. But if you happen to owe your buddy some money while you're on the course, go ahead and pay it up."
Yes. Yes.
So we're going down to Rhino Country Club tonight. Should be great, and there will be Breck brews down there. So we'll be sipping on those, enjoying the beautiful Denver summer. 7:00 for that, and like that is prime Breck brew. Drinking a Breck brew outside in Denver in the summertime. Like I've been doing that daily, basically. Just because 7:00 rolls around, you look outside, like sun's starting to get a little lower, temperature drops a couple degrees. Whew. Perfect Breck brew weather.
Oh man, you're killing me. That sounds amazing. And there's no better place to turn after you've had a couple of Breck beers than Sexy Pizza, the most delicious pizza in town. And they've been around for over a decade, and they're as local as it gets. And you guys know how much we love supporting our local partners, and Sexy Pizza is at the center of that. They have delicious pies, and also they give back to the community that they've been into with their Philanthro pies. A portion of every sale from these 5 specialty pies is donated to a range of different nonprofits right here in Colorado. So it's great company. They're local, and it is absolutely delicious. So check out any of their 4 Denver locations in Capitol Hill, Old South Pearl, Jefferson Park, and Park Hill. Or you can also get them at Trinidad. Check them out. It is delicious over at Sexy Pizza.
And also Evoca TV. I'm getting ready to move, and I was thinking it's finally time for me to get TV, because that's something that I feel like people in America should have, but I guess we don't have time to go down that road. But I was looking through all the options like a reasonable person would, and I knew that there were some other places that have like altitude and the Rockies and all that sort of stuff. I was like, well, we'll see if Evoca actually holds up. But then you look through, and Evoca's probably a third of the price of anything else if you want to see the Avalanche and the Nuggets and the Rockies. And if you're like me, that is all that matters when it comes to figuring out what to get on TV. I'm fired up because I guess we can also watch Us, which we should say as well. But Evoca TV is awesome. Sometime in the near future, I'm going to be signing up. And if you go to evoca.tv/DNVR, you can get $10 off your first 3 months. It's an awesome promotion. That brings it down to $15 per month plus the fee for the receiver, which is $5 a month. So $20 a month total. It's an awesome new streaming service, and you should sign up like I will.
All right, let's jump back into this. We're going to have to move way quicker on the other two teams than we did on that one, or else we're going to be here all day. Quick update, Ronan Malarney has moved to plus 80,000 as opposed to plus 100,000 on DraftKings Sportsbook. So they're starting to get a little scared. I can sense it in their bones.
Is he
I
still
say we get a little double down, Ryan.
He, as far based on my quick scroll through, I believe he has a top 5 9-hole score so far today with the 33.
This was a 9-hole tournament. That'd be exciting.
That's what it is tonight. So you better get in your 9-hole mindset. I'm just saying, like, he's striping it right along with big boys. All right, let's go. Let's stay west. Let's go Chargers next.
Chargers, they open up their season against the Raiders. We had that as a Chargers win, so we'll stick with that to try to be consistent. So Chargers start the season 1-0, and then they get that first Thursday night game at Kansas City. This is tough.
I'm taking the Chargers in that one. I think they're going to get off to a hot start. I think it's going to be that game is, first of all, going to be a lot of fun. It's a good one to have on a Thursday when there's nothing else, and I think the Chargers win it. But it's going to be like that Bills playoff game, you know?
Like just a crazy back and forth.
Yep.
All right. I'm going the other way. Chiefs win. Chargers do something dumb. Like they're like try to run a play before they need to kick a field goal, and it takes too much time, and they don't actually get to kick the field goal. They lose by 3.
Unfortunately, I think this is their most difficult game on the schedule for the Chargers. So I just think if this were any other time, I think Kansas City is going to be really fired up for this one. So give me the Chiefs as well. So we got them starting 1-1 here. Jacksonville, no, come on, guys, Chargers in this one.
Yep.
Yeah. Tickets as low as $29. What the hell?
That's a Chargers home game for you.
Yeah, there's what 80,000 seats in that stadium. 8 fans. They got to do something to fill the rest.
8 million people.
Yeah. How about this next game? You got Houston tickets as low as $27.
Is that cheapest game on the schedule?
It could be the cheapest game in the NFL.
Could be. There, I mean, even at the Broncos' lowest of lows, I don't think you could get in for that cheap.
No.
Probably something closer to this next game, Cleveland, where it's $45. And I assumed we were all taking the Chargers against Houston.
Yeah. I'm all in on Davis Mills, but he's not winning that one.
Yeah, at Cleveland, they're winning that one too.
Yes, they are. Who's their quarterback going to be?
Brandon Weeden.
Oh, jeez. Oh,
Johnny Manziel.
John Elway would love if it was Brandon Weeden.
Why?
Okay. At Denver, or no, at home against the Broncos.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, I think I gave this one to the Chargers when we did it. So, what are they now?
I just have
5-1 or something.
Yep, they'll be 5-1 if we're going Chargers. I have them as a split against the Chargers, so I'm fine with giving them this one.
What is this Mickey Mouse schedule?
It really is. Let's see if it cranks up at the end, because yeah, it's an easy 5-1. I mean, Ryan himself hasn't even been able to give pushback to this. It shows you how easy it is.
The only one, I mean, I wish I could have given the Broncos that one, but I'm almost certain that I gave that to the Chargers in the original rollout.
And then one game before the bye week, you have Seattle. So we've got them going 6-1 heading into the bye week, and it doesn't get much more difficult after the bye week, at least right after the bye week. At Atlanta, being at Atlanta doesn't even make me concerned. Unfortunately, I think the Chargers get that one.
Yeah, you wonder if like Drake London and Kyle Pitts are just mossing everybody, but no, that's Chargers.
With Marcus Mariota?
You just have to be able to throw the ball high. You don't have to throw it well, just high.
Can Mariota do that?
Did they draft someone too?
I could do it.
Yeah, Drake they drafted Cincinnati quarterback
Ritter. Yeah.
Ritter. Yep.
Nope, they lose
Yeah.
that one too. So they're 7-1.
They're 7-1 heading into a prime time game against the 49ers
3 out of
in San
4
Francisco.
on the road against teams that all made the playoffs last year. I'm giving this one to the Niners.
I'm going Chargers.
I'm going Chargers.
Oh my god.
If it wouldn't even be a consideration to me if they weren't 7-1 to this point. It's just like, can I really do it? And it's like, you got to pick the game in front of you.
Okay, so the Chargers are 8-1 hosting the Kansas City Chiefs. And by the way, the Chiefs is the only loss that we have on the Chargers schedule here. I personally like a split here, so I'll go with Chargers win.
My god. Give me the Chiefs.
I also have the split, though. I've got to go with my guy. I said we're splitting these ones.
I just hope that there's no like graphic that comes out from this because I do not want to be lumped in with this shit.
You've agreed with pretty much all of them. They're 9-1.
No, I've got them at 6-3.
We're a team here, Ryan. You ride or die with us. So now we've got them going into Arizona. Let's see. This is week 12. Has the Chargers fall off happened, or not the Chargers? The Cardinals fall off happened yet?
I think we've talked about this a couple times. Like, is it actually possible for the Cardinals to do that again?
I mean, a parlay on that would say no.
Yeah, like it's happened for Cliff Kingsbury like 7 years in a row, regardless of where he was coaching.
But
I'm taking 8 years.
Yeah, I think at this point, I don't think it's a coincidence. It's like you were saying before, like he's doing something.
Yeah. But I just feel like he has to be more prepared. Like this year, if it happens again, he's fired. So he has to like come up with something. Either way, I think it might happen too. Just not in this game. I'm taking the Cards.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cardinals too.
Let's go.
Okay, there we go. 9-2.
Zach was definitely taking the Chargers.
No, we as a team we took the Cardinals and we're moving on, okay? And then at the Raiders, I have a split between these two.
Too.
So in Vegas, I'm taking the Raiders here. Chargers on a little 2-game skid now.
Yep.
But at home against Miami, tickets, wow, $40. I kind of would have expected even lower for Miami and the Chargers playing. I'm going that the Chargers get back on the right foot and get a dub here.
Yeah, there's some of these teams when you go through these that you say like, oh, that actually could be a pretty good team. Like this could turn out to be a lot closer game than I think it is now. But you got to take the Chargers, I think.
I'm taking the Dolphins.
And then
like Jalen Waddle, Tyreek Hill. That's going to be very, very difficult for teams to cover. Also, by this point, 17 Chargers are on IR. Like,
it's fair.
Like, none of their free agenting up to the billing.
Yeah, that's very fair. But then Tennessee the next week, I don't think Tennessee's as terrible of a matchup for them as I think they are for the Raiders. So at home, I'm going the Chargers.
I'm also going.
What do we have the record at right now?
After they beat Tennessee, they're 11-3.
Well, it doesn't matter what I say, but
yep,
it doesn't. It doesn't matter what you say. Now, a really tough 3-game stretch to end the season. You got at Indianapolis, at home against the Rams, and at Denver. This could honestly be kind of the opposite of the Raiders, where a hot start turns a little cold toward the end of the play or to going into the playoffs. What do we think about at Indianapolis?
I've got Indy in that one. Like that's the tougher matchup, I think, because Tennessee does what it does. Indianapolis is just well-rounded enough that they can feed Jonathan Taylor and they can throw a little bit, and like that's a good team. And I think at home Indy wins.
Yeah. Also, just again, important to remember, like Khalil Mack is no longer in. J.C. Jackson demanded a trade at the deadline. Things have gone really awry. But yeah, no, like I said, Indianapolis, my sneaky sleeper. I should call them a dark horse into the Colts. Sneaky nice. Dark horse. They get the win there on the day after Christmas.
What about the Rams the next week? It's in Los Angeles, if you can believe that.
I've got the Rams.
Got the Rams as well. Let's go. We're tacking on some losses late here.
And then
Ryan is
at
living and
Denver,
dying by every one of these games.
guys, we've got the Broncos and the Chargers heading into this game. The winner probably has the tiebreaker, with both finishing at 11-6. If the Broncos win this game, this could be the third straight primetime game for the Chargers. This game means so much. I had the Broncos losing to the Chargers earlier this year. I think the Broncos win this one and get the split.
It's the split. I've got Broncos too.
Ooh, brutal 0-3 stretch for them to finish the season.
After
they chargered the whole season.
We had 9-1 start, and they finish 11-6. They probably make the playoffs here, but they are limping going into the playoffs, and that I think is what people are focused on, the chargering part.
Yep, I think so too. All right, quickly, let's look at the Vegas lines, unless Henry knows it off the top of his head.
10.5.
There we go. We're right on as well.
Oh,
you were guessing. Oh,
yeah.
Okay, let me find it.
It's got to be.
I think it is right around there. I think it
sounds right.
It's either 10 or 10.5.
Why is this not in alphabetical order? It's 10 flat.
Okay.
10 flat. Wow, so Brian's a little higher on the Chargers than the rest of the country. That's interesting.
He sure is.
Definitely not what happened. I'm having flashbacks to when I had to tell you and Mace that it's way too early to call the Chiefs a dynasty after they won one championship, and I was right about that one.
I'm not quite sure about that. I think you're writing them off a little too early.
Yeah, it might not be victory lap time yet.
It's already been 2 years. You have to win 3 out of 4 to have a dynasty.
Really? So how many dynasties have there been?
Enough.
Okay.
You can also win, I think, 3 out of 5. So are they still in the chase for that?
They'd still have to win the next 2. For that. Yep, exactly. Exactly.
We'll
take
see.
your victory lap later, bud.
Yeah.
I'm taking it now. I'll take take on the risk that they don't win the next 2 championships.
Shall we? Speaking of the Chiefs, shall we go through their schedule quickly?
Yes.
Let's do it.
So we've got starting off at Arizona. This is an interesting one because speaking of games where there's 40, 45 points scored by both teams, I think this could be one.
I think they lose this one.
I'm going to win.
I'm going to win as well. But it's tough to say, especially because the Chiefs started slow last year.
Dude, I just think that people are really underrating the loss of Tyreek Hill, and not just in the very just pure sense of what Tyreek Hill was, but also the chemistry that he had with Pat Mahomes. There might have been no one better at when he breaks the pocket and runs around. Tyreek Hill knew where to go and get open for him. I just don't think they have a guy like that, at least early, who's going to have that level of chemistry with him and that level of wherewithal. So I'm probably I assume I'm gonna have my losses for them earlier in the season. I think they get better as the season goes on.
That's very fair. And with the Chiefs, I think this is the toughest stretch for a team to start the season in NFL history. It's something like their first 8 games are all against playoffs, or 8 of their first 9 are all against teams that went to the playoffs last year, which is just crazy. So it should be a tough start, but they are starting 1-0 according to us. We had them in this last one beating the Chargers here, so we'll have them starting 2-0 here as well. Heading into Indianapolis is your dark horse, Ryan. Are they getting the win over the Chiefs?
Sneaky dark horse. At Indianapolis, early morning. Yeah, I'll give it. I'll go Colts. Colts might be going undefeated based on my takes.
Seriously.
Yeah, I've got the Colts in this one.
Okay, there we go. 2-1 for the Chiefs. Tampa Bay. You got Super Bowl matchup from 2 years ago. This is a fun one. Prime time, 6:20. Who do you guys have?
I've got Mahomes.
Ooh, almost as fun as it was the last time we watched it. Tampa Bay wins again.
Yeah, I think Tampa Bay is going to win this one again. Love that they're at home here. Versus at home against the Raiders. What did we do last time? I think we went Chiefs.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we
because the
need to.
Raiders
We're
lost all
0-5.
these.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. So now Chiefs are 4-1 going into Buffalo.
I was very concerned about when we started 0-5 for the Raiders about where this exercise was going.
Every team wins 3 games.
Yeah, we're just like, oh, somehow the Broncos win easy in the toughest division in sports history. I'll take the Bills. I always take the Bills when they play the Chiefs, and I'm usually wrong, but this is the time that it happens.
At home.
If they beat Tampa, I'll say they lose to the Bills. I had these going the other way, but I feel like those are kind of the pair to me. The pair you split.
Fair.
We had them
I
losing
like
to Tampa.
Yeah, so I have them. Oh, really?
Didn't we?
Oh no, that is right. That is right. So yeah, I'll take them to beat Buffalo.
And I, just because it's at home, I'm taking them to beat Buffalo as well. We got a hot start for the Chiefs at San Francisco before their bye. They're 5-1.
They win this one.
Yeah, they do.
Yep, I think so as well.
You have
Unfortunately,
wait, really? We have the only loss being the Tampa game? Didn't
oh, did we have Indy as well?
we did? We did have Indy.
Yeah. Okay. So now they're 5-2 going into the bye. Yes, that makes sense. Okay, coming out of the bye, playing at home against Tennessee.
You can definitely see a path for Tennessee, but I'm not picking it.
Yeah.
Didn't Tennessee rock their world last year in the regular season?
I think so.
But yeah, at home, I'm going the Chiefs as well.
Me too.
Next one's easy for me, Jacksonville. I'm going Chiefs as well. Although maybe this is a sneaky one. Well, it's one of the games that the Chiefs should absolutely win and they drop, but I'm not going to predict it.
Didn't they lose to the Texans or something last year?
Yeah.
Or was that the Raiders?
The Chargers lost to the Texans.
Oh, that makes sense. So can you say that one more time?
It was a big Charger game, man. They chargered it up there.
And if they didn't, if they would have won that game, they would have been in the playoffs.
Yep, wouldn't have mattered that last overtime game.
Unbelievable. I still can't believe they didn't go for the tie. So much respect for that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Against the Chargers.
We had that one as a Chargers win.
So, okay. Chiefs are 7-3 against the Rams. Wow. 2 teams in the division go back-to-back against Los Angeles teams. Interesting. This one is in Kansas City playing against the Rams.
I'll go Chiefs.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think it breaks well that they're at home here for this one.
That's fair. This is another one of those. Like, it's just fun when you're the Chiefs and you're one of the 4 really, really good teams, and then you play Tampa and you play Buffalo and them. It's just, yeah, who knows?
I don't know why this just came up just talking about the Rams. Have you ever seen the video of DK Metcalf and Aaron Donald talking about their bench press?
No.
So DK's on the show before Aaron Donald gets. I just saw this on TikTok. I don't even remember what show it was. And he's told the host, like, I can out bench Aaron Donald. And they're like, geez, like, what can you bench? And he's like 350. And they're like, wow, that's insane. So then Aaron Donald sits down and they're like, Aaron Donald, do you think you can out bench DK? Or yeah, DK. And Aaron Donald's like, yeah. And they're like, what do you bench? He's like, 500. And the look on DK Metcalf's face, he's like, hey, can I change my answer from earlier? It's great.
That is insane.
Yeah. Not even in the same ballpark.
No, not even. And that's just who Aaron Donald is.
Yep. All right, at Cincinnati, right? Or did we pick the Rams game?
We did, yeah. We had the Chiefs winning.
Okay. At Cincinnati, I'm going to pick the Bengals.
Ooh, I can't do that. I think the Bengals are coming back to earth this year. Still going to be good. This will be a fun, competitive game, but I'm going Chiefs.
I think Patty has flashbacks and doesn't play his best.
That just doesn't sound like Patrick Mahomes to me.
It also doesn't sound like him to get beat by Kyler 1 in the playoffs.
Okay, I guess that's fair. Like I totally see the path, and I think this is competitive. But sitting here today, I've got to take the Chiefs.
Next one, Chiefs are 9-3 coming to Denver, prime time Sunday night football. I've got the Denver Broncos winning this one.
Me too, and I'm pretty sure based on the way that we went through the schedule, like we have the Broncos pretty close to that number at this time too, just because the end of the schedule is so difficult for the Broncos. This is going to be like maybe for first place type of thing. Although based on your guys' predictions, at this point in the season, the Chargers are running away with it.
Don't try to wiggle out of our predictions, Ryan.
I had nothing to.
No.
I was on the opposite side like 60% of those picks.
You were panicked over every one of those games. It was,
Yeah.
I was just praying that one of you would say the Chargers so I get lost.
Ryan realized that, oh no, the Chargers are actually going to be good this year. What have I been saying this whole time?
Clip that and save it, Kale.
All right, next one at Houston. I think we can all go a Chiefs win here. At home against Seattle, I think we can all go a Chiefs win here. So next game is at home against Denver. The Chiefs are 11-4 heading into Week 17.
What did we? Oh, this is. What did we? I think
Denver
we picked them to lose this one.
So yeah, it must be a split.
We did, because it's a split. So that means the Chiefs have locked up the division heading into Week 8. Well, actually, maybe not, depending on where the Broncos are. No, yeah, the Chiefs have locked up. No, maybe not. Depends on the Chargers, because the Chargers are 11 wins going into Week 18. The Chiefs have 12 playing in Las Vegas. We had this as a Chiefs win.
Yeah, but the reason I gave it to the Chiefs is because I said the Raiders are dead and the Chiefs have something to play for. They might actually not, although maybe seeding.
Yeah. Well, and
this is
because
too high for me. I don't know where we went wrong, but this is too high for me.
Well, I think it all comes to this game, the Week 18 one, and I think because that the Chargers could potentially win the division with like tiebreakers and stuff if they were to beat the Broncos in Week 18, then the Chiefs have something to play for.
That's true.
But Ryan, you're saying it's too high for you. It's 13-4 for the Chiefs. That is pretty darn good.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I think we're at least one game too high here as to what's going to actually happen. Maybe it's that Cincinnati game that I talked about. But really, Vegas says we're 2 games too high because they have the total set at 10.5.
However, though, I really like the over. That may be my favorite bet on over-unders. And 10.5? Come on. We may be 2 games too high, but that's still cash in the over.
They're the only team in the division that got worse this offseason.
Yep, it's very true.
They were really good.
When was the last time they didn't win 11 games?
I mean, I'm sure it's been a while.
Yeah, just that offensive line. I mean, I guess if big thing's just gonna be the running game. I feel like if they can run the football at all, they should be just fine.
Last time the Chiefs didn't win 11 games was in 2017. The last time before that was in 2014. So in the past 8 seasons, they've done it 6 times.
Yeah. Yep. And that's when basically the window that's been really tough for the Broncos to beat them. I mean, I don't know. They're all liable to lose one every year that no one expected them to. So maybe it's like that Titans game or somewhere in there, but I'd feel a lot more comfortable if we had them at 12. 13 feels high.
So 13's the number, though, that you kind of need to get to be either lock it up and not have to worry about tiebreakers, or to be pushing a tiebreaker with the Chiefs. And that's just, I mean, that shouldn't be a shocker, because we talk about this division being the best division in football, potentially the best division ever. And we know there's going to be some cannibalizing within the division, but wouldn't be surprised to see one team just under 500, as we had with the Raiders, and one team that kind of separates themselves a bit and is pretty darn good.
Yeah, 13. I think that's a good number. And in terms of what it takes to win the division comfortably. That's going to be really hard to attain in this division.
And the way that you guys picked those games before, if you just would have had the Broncos sweeping the Chiefs, that would be 12 wins, and they'd have the tiebreaker.
That's true. You're one game away.
Too. Yeah. So if that's one of the games you win, then it's the only one you need.
Yeah, we didn't talk about that when we went into that week 16 or 17 game. The implications were massive going into that game.
Mm-hmm.
Like basically, the winner was going to take the division for all intents and purposes. That's exciting. If that happens, it was a fun year.
Man, it would be so at home too. That game, man, would be a blast. Hopefully there's some snow.
That's the good stuff. All right, I want to tell you about our friends over at Foco. Foco.com is where you can go to check out all their awesome gear. And they just came out with a huge line of commemorative pieces for the Avs Stanley Cup, including bobbleheads, shirts, hats, all that stuff. So make sure you hop over to Foco.com. That's FOCO.com. Use the code DNVR for 10% off. They've even got some throwback stuff like the Avs 96 Cup. They got a Sakic bobblehead with that. You can get your updated ones with to fill out your collection if you already have some from those years. So check out our friends over at Foco.com. Use the code DNVR.
And you've got to check out our friends over at Athletic Greens, because we've brought Athletic Greens into our lives and they have made them so much better. Because Athletic Greens, what does it do? Well, it makes your body healthy, essentially, because it gives you 75 high-quality vitamins, minerals, whole food source, superfoods, probiotics, adaptogens to help you start your day right. And there's no crap in it. There's less than 1 gram of sugar. It's keto, paleo, vegan, dairy-free, gluten-free, anything free. It is really, really good. And it costs less than a cup of coffee a day, and it helps your body feel better. It helps you recover. It helps get your day started right. And all it is one little scoop that you put in a glass of water when you wake up. I think it tastes good. I think it tastes like citrus. And like I said, very affordable as well. They have over 7,000 5-star reviews. So many other people have approved of them as well. And if you go to athleticgreens.com/Broncos, you'll get 5 free travel packs and a free 1-year supply of immune supporting vitamin D with your first purchase. So check them out over at athleticgreens.com/Broncos.
All righty, let's move on into the comments here. We got to go a little fast as we are already over our allotted time here. So let's fire it up. Big Hank Stan says, "Dear Hank, it appears that in my rather brief absence, you found someone with whom to spend your time away from the bar, watching Netflix and chilling and doing that stuff that young people do. Please tell me that you vetted them and they know even the most basic Broncos Grizz trivia, like who was the back judge in Super Bowl 50 and what Montana football player broke Randy Moss's receiving record. Please tell me you did your due diligence. Love, Hank Stan."
I have told her about name redacted breaking that record so many times, and if she doesn't remember his redacted name, then I'm gonna be upset. I'm gonna be honest.
I don't know if Hank's just trying to hide that he doesn't know the answer, or if he doesn't want to spoil it for her.
So last time we talked about my girlfriend on this podcast, she turned out to be listening.
Yeah.
And that one really got me because I made a little tiny joke. But we're going to assume that she's not listening. It's Amari Toure, who's now with the Packers.
How long ago did this happen?
He broke the record. So he actually transferred to Nebraska last year, and we don't talk about that. But he broke it the year before. I can't remember what the number was. It was like 380 receiving yards in a playoff game, which broke Randy Moss's record for FCS.
Oh, it was a single game record.
Yeah. And so, but he's now with the Packers, and I saw recently that there's been some hype out of Green Bay about him. Like he's nasty.
I bet you he wasn't putting up those numbers when Nebraska was scoring 10 points against Purdue at 10 a.m.
Yeah, I would have to double check, but I would imagine no, he was not putting up 380 again.
Big Hank Stan chimes in again, guys, and he says, "Given the current makeup of the team, would you rather have PS2 or Micah Parsons for the next 5 seasons? Let's say they both stay healthy and perform at Pro Bowl or elite levels for that time span. Love, Hank Stan."
I mean, especially if Micah Parsons, any of the quote unquote off field concerns with him never kick up, then I think you have to go Parsons, because I think that pass rusher is the second most valuable position on a football team potentially, and corner is probably fourth.
I mean, just look at what Micah Parsons was last year. And if we're saying that continues as a rookie, guys, he was in the conversation for defensive player of the year. If he continues that, he's a playmaker. That's a defensive player of the year candidate. It's not disrespectful to pick that over Pat Surtain, even as good as I think Pat Surtain is going to be.
To put in perspective just how good Micah Parsons was last year, you have to remember he had one more sack than Bradley Chubb did his rookie season. That's a pretty good year.
And that's not all he does,
yeah.
He's so much more than a pass rusher.
Yeah, exactly.
But that is where most of that value comes from, and the versatility too. I mean, if Surtain winds up being the best corner in the league, like right now, who is the best pass rusher? Joey Bosa, or Nick Bosa, maybe.
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt, yeah. Maybe Micah Parsons, probably. So TJ Watt, would you rather have him or Jalen Ramsey?
TJ Watt.
TJ Watt.
Yeah, I think so too. But I do think it's pretty close.
Yeah, it is. But Jalen Ramsey, I don't know. It's so easy to avoid corner if you don't want to involve them in the game. You cannot get away from a great pass rusher.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, for the most part, like you have to really commit resources to it. Like I remember some teams that were just like, we're not letting Von Miller do anything today. But you're just taking a player out of the field basically, and just saying like, we're double teaming Von. That means one less person's running routes.
I mean, TJ Watt legitimately won the Steelers multiple games last year with how good he was, and he was incredible. What did he have? 21 sacks or something? Flirted with the sack record. It was incredible.
I guess you could say like a great corner is also doing the same thing though, like limiting the offense so much in terms of what they want to do.
And more realistically, it's like a week-to-week matchup-based thing, and I'm not sure what's more important. Maybe with receivers making the massive contracts now, you wind up saying you want somebody who can take that guy out, like cancel out Devontae Adams or cancel out Tyreek Hill. But yeah, you still definitely like pass rusher is the second most important position.
From Broncos only, a train journey from London to Paris takes 2.5 hours, but only 20 minutes of it is in a tunnel going beneath the English Channel, the Channel famously. This information is relevant to discussion on Monday's pod in my vague comment yesterday. I can't wait for the season. You guys do a great job making the offseason bearable. I made a link to a meme that illustrates this. I don't know if you'll be able to click it or not. Thanks, Broncos only. I'm clicking it as we speak. Let's see if I can describe this for you guys. It is a poor artist's rendering of a person laying in a hospital bed, it appears, in a full body cast, with a bag of blood hanging above them. It looks like their face is pretty messed up too. It says Broncos only on the person who's in the cast. Then it says the DNVR Broncos NFL offseason.
So we are the blood that's dripping into him to keep him alive.
Oh,
yeah.
Wow. I needed like a line that was connected to the blood. I didn't realize that those two things were connected in the meme.
He put an arrow.
That looks like a less than sign to me.
Oh, see, I think it's an arrow. I think he missed the thing that would make it really seem like an arrow. Okay, yeah. Okay, it's fair. It's fair. I took it as an arrow, so I saved him there, but it does look like a less than sign.
I mean, 10 out of 10 meme. Great job. Next one's from, oh my God, the Big T. It's very long. LOL, I genuinely chuckled at Henry's reaction to the UK not having bad teeth comment. Yes, Henry, perhaps in the 60s, but today we have some of the healthiest teeth in the world. Wow. Although, don't take mine, for example. Too much smoking and black coffee for these set of noshers. Okay, on to the food. First of all, whoa there, Zach. The UK has invented, to name a few, fish and chips, beef Wellington, chicken tikka masala, the Sunday roast, sounds like a podcast, Cornish pasties, black pudding, that sounds gross, smoked salmon, cauliflower cheese, shepherd's pie, the full English breakfast, Lancashire hot pot, pie and mash, sausage and mash, pork pies, steak and kidney pie, pies generally, actually, roast lamb with mint sauce, toad in the hole, Welsh rarebit, bread and butter pudding, Christmas pudding, lardy cake, mince pies, spotted dick, treacle tart, Victoria sponge, and last of all, the sandwich.
Lead with the sandwich. What the
I've
hell?
only picked a sample here. Need I go on? What has America invented? Pizza? Nope. Hamburger? Nope. What is there? Gumbo, key lime pie, cornbread, and buffalo wings is all I can think of. That literally sounds like the best meal
That
possible.
sounds incredible. What are the spotted dick?
And of course, the infamous barbecue food, which was probably some drunk, inattentive, cocky dad burning their meat on the grill and coated in a sweet sauce to cover up their mistake. And lo and behold, it worked. Wow, that is disrespectful. I am, of course, just messing with y'all. But to claim that British food is bad and that my defensiveness on the subject being an insight into the truth, well, I'll stand by my comments that British food is great. Let's not forget, we sadly tried to conquer the globe and stole most of their food, as well as a lot of other things, unfortunately. Peace out. Love you guys and love the food banter, the Big T.
That is a fantastic comment there, Big T. Fantastic.
Big takeaway is that the British were the first ones to put basically anything next to mash.
Yeah.
I just want I want to give some advice to anyone, that wants to talk up their culture's food. Don't include things like lardy cake, like spotted dick,
treacle tart,
and black pudding. Just keep those out of your point.
You guys have hamburgers? Gross. We have blarney cake. Pizza? Trash. Have you heard of spotted dick?
Have you heard of toad in a hole? I hope you guys know that's all out of love. And the last one here comes in from Monster Mayhem. It says, following up on my question yesterday, who do y'all believe is the greatest single season position group in Broncos history? Off the top of the head, you instantly go to the no-fly zone. But you have to pare it down to the corner.
I go somewhere else on that defense. I go outside linebackers.
That's where I was thinking too. Did you take DeMarcus Ware and Vaughn over Talib, Chris Harris, Roby?
Yeah, you have two guaranteed Hall of Famers there.
Yep, especially for the run that they had that playoffs. DeMarcus was great as well.
Yep, and Shaq Barrett and Shane Ray, who Shane, for the way his career has played out, was actually playing really well that season.
Maybe one of the receiver groups with Peyton, like Wes Welker,
Demarius Thomas.
Yeah.
Eric
Decker. Yep.
Julius Thomas, does that count?
Pretty damn
I don't
good.
think so. We can't do no fly zone.
Okay, fair enough. You got to go pass rushers. I'm sure there's some one from an older team that we're not thinking of. There's some great. Those teams are so balanced when you think of it. When you think of the 97, 98 teams, you're thinking wow, their defensive line was just good across the board.
Yeah.
Their linebackers were just good across the board. Their offensive line was good across the board. Obviously, Rod Smith, Ad McCaffrey, that's a great duo. But it was really just you could make a case for that running back room, but you can only have one of them on the field at a time. I don't think they would have that much of a case, but that Jacksonville game in '97 when all three of them went over 100 yards or something like that, they were crazy good. But that also is just that system does that.
And led by Terrell Davis, it's a pretty good one to have.
You could go with Randy Gradishar and Tom Jackson at inside linebacker in the Orange Crush defense.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Depth of that.
I don't have enough perspective on that though. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, the Orange Crush era linebackers.
Or you could just straight up go John Elway for a single season, Peyton Manning for a single season, and hopefully Russell Wilson for a single season moving forward.
John Elway and Bubby Brister, or Peyton Manning and Brock Osweiler. Who you take?
And Trevor.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who the third was on that team. Not the Trevor team. Trevor, that's three dudes who played, who started games for NFL teams.
But
Yeah.
at that point, you weren't getting the best Peyton.
Ooh, good point. That's true. That pretty much ends it. I'm going outside linebackers from that team. You guys made a great point. It's so deep. Two surefire Hall of Famers. Shaq Barrett, like,
Yeah.
can't say he won't make the Hall of Fame, like, definitively right now. Now, he has a lot of work to do, and he's older than you'd like for when he started to break out. But he could go, like, if he has another crazy sack season, then, like, he gets into the conversation.
Did he win Defensive Player of the Year the year he left, or did he just lead the league in sacks? I think he just led the league in sacks with 18.
Who won it that year? Who knows?
I don't
He had a real
remember.
great case.
He did. He really
And, like,
did, and
again,
that just shows you how good that group was.
if he had another 18 sack season, like, I don't think it's going to happen, but then you'd have to start saying, like, is he one of the best outside linebackers of this era? Like,
Yeah, which is nuts.
it is nuts. Super happy for him. What a nice guy. All right, we are way deep into this show, but it was fun all the way through. So appreciate everyone for listening. We had a lot of fun. Hit us with a thumbs up on your way out if you had fun with us, and we will catch you tomorrow on the DNVR Broncos podcast.